Hola amigos, it's Underwater Sandwiches here. A bit late in this vlog, but here's my one takes vlog review on me as James's second latest travel vlog titled Primavera. Now this is going to be a one take or two take review, so not quite Harry Styles, but not bad either. And tell me what you think about this format. It's a bit simpler to fit in within my programming abilities, which is why I've chosen to do it this way. So I know I'm a bit late on this one. Hold on a second. Settle down. So how we're going to structure today's vlog is there's going to be two parts. I'm going to do a bit of an introductory sort of analysis, might you say. That's going to be followed subsequently by a clip of the video that I'm doing said review about, and then I'm going to give a further analysis, and that's, I think, a pretty good way of doing this. So I'm late on this one, 2 weeks late in fact. I knew it was out, but I really just wanted to collate my thoughts and get things together a little bit before I was in a position to give us an acceptable review, which I am now. So at the moment I'm in my brother's room. It's a bit late. I thought I'd change the scenery a bit. He's off camping with his friends up in Trumbury, or a bit there beyond. And you know what they say, when the cats leave, the mice come out to play. There's an important reason why I've not posted a review in a while, actually, and that's because I've been having a bit of an existential crisis. Like any famous person, Doris Day, Kurt Cobain, David Sylvian, or Sergei Rachmaninoff, to name a few, get examples of famous people. I've had a really tough time grappling with my rapid rise to renown. My previous vlog tallied a lot of views, and it sort of led to this disconnect I feel between myself and my fans, my viewers and whatnot. I would even go further than disconnect and say it's a disposition. I hate you guys, basically. I'm not going to name any names here because I'm a bit above that, but if I were to name a few, then Epic Radio and and Rewind Remix. You guys are up there. Actually, to be fair, I think Rewind Remix deleted its YouTube account because I can't see the comment anymore. Whether or not that's connected to my hatred of him and his self-awareness of that, yes, probably. Just a little, like, you guys like my pretty reviews and like to read along and shoot your guns, but you don't know what it means, basically, is what I'm saying. Well, that's an aside. I've been made aware also that my vlog review has been vlog reviewed by the Xavier Waiver. So, but on the side, this is a one takes because I just realised what one takes meant. No, it's a one takes in the sense that I haven't done any trials. This is pure. I thought it'd just bring me closer to my fans that I say. But yeah. So yeah, I've been made aware of the Xavier Waver's review. So shouts out to my fellow less renowned YouTuber TXW. As of yet, I haven't watched the video, and I don't actually plan on. And I'm going to go through why now. I always used to wonder how musicians felt or responded to reviews of their own works. Reviews and just public sort of representations of what they've done. Like, do they ever watch Anthony Fantano reviews of their albums? And if so, does it make them feel good? Does it make them feel good seeing something which to them was not necessarily an objectively organised, or rather something which wasn't really just deconstructible, some of its parts, to them at least, being broken down and analysed on such an objective metric, a given meaning that they didn't ascribe to it in its creation thereof. I mean, surely any creator creates something knowing it's going to affect differently different people. But to the same extent, for myself at least, I feel like watching them. I feel like watching them would psych me out and get in the way of the creation process. As a representation of other people's interpretations rather than my own. I'm not saying there's no place for reviews. I mean, obviously I scrape a living off of vlog reviews, so that would be fairly hypocritical. I'll leave a comment on this as to what you think. I think it's an interesting thought line to go down, just no doubt. I mean, alright, so extending upon this idea, I feel as though when bands focus more on living up to an expectation or an image rather than making their own art as a reflection of whatever individual effect they're experiencing, the end product suffers a little bit. This is often a result of, at least in my mind, them forming some sort of self-awareness of the effect their art is having, which in turn goes on to affect the future products they produce. So while like the incipient art form would be really a reflection of themselves, the future ones tend to become marred by, well, that, as I just described, like external expectations and the image they have of what they're doing, the effect rather than the cause. It's interesting. In an ideal world, I wonder if having the artist in a completely different sphere as the effector of the art he produces wouldn't be more conducive to better art. Well, better art seems to be a weird way of putting it, but I guess a truer production of the artist's feelings, perhaps. When I think of this scenario, the first thing that jumps to my mind is the band WHIZ. Their first couple of albums were really quite cool. The Blue album and the WHIZ self-titled. Really cool works of music. And were critically acclaimed as a result, I guess. But ever since, their many albums following have been just mediocre, boring, and they're obviously old as fuck now as well. It doesn't help. Yeah, so basically the band flew to popularity overnight and was thrown under the spotlight immediately as a result. The lead singer is a bloke named WHIZ, and he seems to be a bit, well, at least when he was in the earlier interviews I've seen of him when he was younger, he seemed to be a bit quite socially awkward. On a side note, there's a fucking funny video on YouTube. It's from an interview when Rivers was in Australia, and it's an Australian interview. The guy's such a toss. The guy's a massive tosser, and he's like, "Oh, here's Rivers, Weezer," and it's just pretty funny. It doesn't. Anyway, so he seems like a guy who'd be pretty vulnerable, I suppose, to external influences and perceptions. That would get in the way for him, I think. Yeah. It's often, I guess, it's fairly accepted tendency when you think about music for people to prefer first few albums and then dismiss other ones without necessarily diminishing their perspective of the band. And it's often put down to them, just I guess artists running out of ideas or things like that. But for me at least, I've always expected it to be due to, I guess, an uncomfortable blurring of the image and effect of their product within the outer sphere and the process of forming it in the first place. It's an interesting thought process. I guess as an artist you only have two choices, and that is to as I first suggested, I guess, immerse your art as a completely pure self-reflection, or completely involve yourself in the external sphere. When I think about the latter, a lot of popular artists today seem to be doing that. In pop music, at least, you get sort of just trashy electronic, just driven absolutely by the consumer. I mean, popular music is always driven by consumer preference, because that's really the definition of it. Alright, so I'm going to stop it here, and you can watch a video of Jim's, Mies James's Primavera travel vlog, and I'll pick it up afterwards.
Hola amigos, Mies James. El blog de reacción de mi amigo Underwater Sandwiches, también conocido como John Spivey, y está bien. Gracias por tu respuesta, y voy a considerar tus críticas. Estoy caminando a mi hostel después de Primavera día 2. He filmado un poco de el día, pero actualmente no puedo editar mis vlogs. Voy a tratar de utilizar un ordenador por editar. Ahora voy a mostrar un poco de Primavera ahora. Chao.
So, as he said, he's still looking very attractive and good, and he's done a nice job with this one. I really loved this video, actually. Extending upon what I was saying earlier, I guess that doesn't necessarily, it's not restricted to music or even art. We can be drawn out to make an interesting sort of inference about how we function as human beings in general, and as social animals. We seem to have this dependence upon others, but more specifically, almost more so than our dependence on others, is the dependence upon how we see ourselves as being seen by other people. Paradoxically, the times at which we feel like the most ourselves, or like free, having the most fun, is when that self-image is relevant. So it certainly serves a social purpose, but maybe it's possibly detrimental. I mean, the boat I'm in right now is that it is a detrimental thing, but it's also just it's part of who I am. So I sort of have a tough time grappling with that, because you can't really despise something which is so integral to who you are as a person without hating the person that is as well. Alright, so this is something I think about a fair bit, actually. Just as music is best made, in my mind, in isolation of outside factors, or at least, well, obviously not like music can be like a political statement, but outside factors in the sense of just the creation process. I've grown obsessed with this idea that I shouldn't really care about what others think, and I should act there accordingly. But it seems like obsessing over not appearing away is exactly a symptom of the same sort of self-image rejection that I'm pretending to uphold. So you can't really escape it either way. At least if you're consciously aware of it, you can't seem to get away from it. I guess the solution might be just accept it as part of who we are as people, and to put yourself in a situation or circumstances where this self-image is more positivistic and malleable. That seems to be the solution to me, although I think it's something I'll grapple with for a while longer. It was WHIZ James himself, actually, who agreed that this sort of thinking like this doesn't actually predicate any real change. So it sort of seems pointless to sort of just run this through in your head. It might just be easy to let it go. It's not really the type of person I am, but I guess I have to think about that a bit more with WHIZ James. It's rather suitable with WHIZ James. It's rather suitable, James, given this is a review of your Primavera tennis log, to look into this idea. I guess my aim, if I had one, would be to draw connections between you and the musicians you saw up on the stage. So, for instance, Mac DeMarco, whom you featured, seems to thrive almost on this social representation of himself. In response to our innate obsession with how we seem to others, he seems to have gone the opposite way to me, and seems knowingly immerse himself in that image, and much of the music released nowadays seems to be driven towards that. At least it does seem pretty different to his older stuff, but much the same now. I love his stuff, and I think it's cool, but he definitely adheres to this lackadaisical perception, and he loves that. And I don't know if it doesn't. I guess it is true enough to him, because that's who he. But it's interesting that that's who you become. When I think of you, Jim, you seem to be a little bit like me, and concern yourself with how you present yourself, and whether these people or people in your life will accept you accordingly, and the people you meet, will accept you accordingly. I think recently that's an area you've matured a lot in. And you seem to really understand that you're a cool dude without getting too caught up in why, and that's a really good thing. And so, side review of you as a person, solid. It's very good. But it's also, who you are as a person is very much relevant when reviewing your blogs. So that's cool. Before I forget, the tune of the day is I Want to Break Free by Queen. As an objective standpoint, I feel like this vlog is one of your best ones yet, James. It's really immersive, and you have such a good camera that I feel like I'm there. I still hope to see some other people that you meet along your travels feature in these little vlogs of yours, especially Spanish people. Some pretty girls, perhaps. Because chicks get views. It's the number one. It's the number one rule of YouTube. Like, you see, like dead set. I'm actually I'm actually laying low down right now because I can see all these like fucking shitty ass videos, and the thumbnails are just of like girls and like this guy's like flirting, or like what are the pickup line videos, and it's like chicks get these, mate. So get some girls that speak Spanish, and they're cool, because I think that's going to really sort of boost. That's going to be another sort of differentiating factor between you and every other Tom, Dick, Joe, and Harry travel vlogger out there. So nice. It's just a small thing though. So yeah, I love you, and I miss you a lot. Te amo. Oh, but before I forget, so that's the end of the vlog. Thank you for watching. But on a side note, if you want to keep watching, I'd appreciate it. I'm going to be setting up establishing. I know you guys are probably thinking about time. Yeah, a Patreon, with the goal of funding maybe some better recording equipment, like a more sort of immersive experience. So I can sort of there's a room that I'm in, but you can't really see because the camera's not too good. It's a laptop camera. Yeah, so I'm going to be setting up a Patreon, and essentially it's rely upon you guys, so my fans and viewers. And in hindsight, probably wasn't like the smartest thing to do, like telling you how much I despise you guys, and dissing you, dropping shade basically. And now turning around and being like, well, you know, I also need you guys to give me money, but I'm still going to do it. There's no obligation at all, but it would be greatly appreciated. In honesty, I mean, if you're watching these videos, it's this content, these vlogs that I produce, and you're consuming my product, then there's sort of this expectation that you do donate. It's just you take, you give. It's just the law of the jungle, and regular society as well. So that's just, it's optional basically, is what I'm saying. There's no need to do it, but it would be appreciated. Thanks for watching. This is underwater sandwiches, my brother's bedroom, signing off. So I almost forgot, this video is getting I'm going to give it a G. This vlog of Jim's Primavera vlog is getting a G whiz. So it's pretty G whiz. Thank you.